Commissioner Gorelick.
I have one question for Professor Martin. You were general counsel at the Immigration Naturalization Service for a number of years in the 90s, during a period of time when we had various political paroxysms over immigration. One of the responsibilities of this commission is to look at the interaction between the executive branch and its execution of its various responsibilities under the law and the laws that are passed by Congress mandating certain conduct by executive branch agencies and the oversight. So my question to you is this. Could you comment on the nature of the mandates that were placed on the INS, particularly with regard to the apprehension and detention of immigrants who had in some fashion or another violated the law or who had overstayed their visas, and the capacity of the INS to carry out those mandates?
Well, let me start out by saying there were a number of important steps that were being taken throughout the 1990s to improve overall enforcement, including the efforts to have better systems to deal with aliens with criminal records. The key to that, the key to the successes, which were quiet, was enhanced funding and some efforts to provide thoughtful designs for ways to do it through better arrangements with local jails, with the prison systems, and so forth. That was going forward, but that wasn't quite enough to, it wasn't quite visible enough, I think, to satisfy the political demands that we saw, particularly in the 1996 elections. And that was kind of a carryover from California's experience in 1994 with Proposition 187. There was a big outcry about immigration enforcement. The steps that were being taken through, the quieter steps that were being taken, I think were likely to be much more effective. Instead, what we got into was a kind of a bidding process for tougher legal provisions that were embodied in the 1996 law. Detention mandates, elimination of various kinds of provisions that allowed someone who had a criminal conviction to say, well, nonetheless, look at the way that I've reformed or my other ties to the community and allow me to remain despite my commission of this offense. That was an over-tightening. That has overloaded the immigration authorities with some of those particular mandates and made it harder to focus strategies in ways that I think might be the most productive. I guess what I'm mainly trying to say is the challenge for better immigration control is largely a matter of resources and careful strategies and not just toughening up the legal provisions themselves. We might want to rethink some of those overly strict provisions adopted in '96 so as to free up some resources and time and effectiveness with regard to other measures that may be quieter but might provide longer-term payoff.
Would it be fair to say then that your experience and the experience of our immigration system through that period of time is that if prudent policymaking is politicized, it can end up backfiring, so that you get a perverse result rather than the one that is intended or would be good policy?
That can definitely happen, yes. And I think we did experience some of that. Not all of the '96 Act, the immigration reform legislation was of that character. There were some steps that were useful and made a lot of sense. But it did tend to get carried away with some of that. And I think there are ways to walk back prudently from some of those measures and free up some time and energy for more effective strategies.
Thank you.